New Year's resolutions. Hi everybody, and by everybody I mean hi mom if you were watching. Let's talk about New Year's resolution. And this is something that many people are sharing on social media at the beginning of the year 2020. Yay! The New Year's resolutions. Like we are going to achieve so many goals. I'm guilty of that as well in the previous years, like setting up at the beginning of the year new goals that I would like to achieve. But right now, I'm asking myself a question. And by the way, Renee and I, we ask that question as well in our podcast, Groovy Take On Podcast. In the description is going to be a link to it. That's a plug-in right there, right? Why setting up those goals at the beginning of the year? What does it mean that we are going to have those New Year's resolutions? Why at the beginning of the new year? Why not in the middle of the year? What is so special? And of course, it's some sort of almost like a tradition. New Year is like a new beginning. Quite often it seems like we are ditching those New Year's resolution by mid-February. At the end of January, there's nobody at the gym. By the way, yeah, the weight loss and going more often to the gym, getting that health going, eating healthy, saving more money, those are the most popular nowadays and for many, many years before that New Year's resolution. So when you look at those goals that we would like to achieve and look how much we fail, I'm asking myself a question, what for? How about I simply set up some goals throughout the year and try to achieve them slowly but surely this time? So yeah, a few years ago I decided, let me just try throughout the year, achieve some goals, set up some goals. Unfortunately, and there is a chance that some of you out there, we set up those goals that we would like to succeed in and achieve them. And then in the middle of the process, or even at the beginning of the process, we just failure again, because somehow at some point we just stopped. Either we didn't get into that new habit of doing something, achieving something, or maybe we just decided against that. Maybe we changed our goals. Whatever the reason is, the goal that we set up is not achieved at the end. The New Year's resolutions, for me, that's more like an anxiety attack than, yay, let's do it this time. It should be more positive message in this video than negative, like, yeah, you know what, let's forget about those New Year's resolutions. What's the reason? What point? It's not worth it. Let's not do it. But okay, the positive message is I found some tips how to help achieve those goals. What to do to get a little bit better, to get them done and succeed. Also, there are those few popular New Year's resolutions, as I mentioned earlier. Weight loss, that would be on my list. Again, I feel so weird about it. There are some tips that I found that I hope are going to be helpful for you, and they are going to be helpful for me as well. So one of the tips is, well, procrastination, probably it's not your best friend. Also, I never mentioned that those tips are so unique. They are very common, but I think it's important also to remind each other constantly about those tips. Tip number one would be prioritize. Prioritize what is more important than other. And you know what? I'm guilty of not prioritizing some of the things. Like I will focus on tiny little bit somewhere and I will just keep just thinking about that one thing instead of looking at what is the most important on my agenda and what I should focus more. Other things that are less important, I should probably either skip, do it right away, and just prioritize everything that I can prioritize. Tip number two that I think is like, so important is let's try to avoid, if possible, obviously, things that are going to keep us away from achieving the goal. So I would think, in my case, let's go with the weight loss. I don't like that topic anymore. Maybe let's try avoid fast food chains along the way home or to work instead of, look, McDonald's. let's stop by. Well, no. So let's try to avoid those situations, things, or sometimes even people who are trying to get us away from achieving the goal that we established. Tip number 3. Try something different. If the pattern that you are using so far is not working to achieve the goal, how about we try a different approach? Oh, Captain Obvious again? Well, but you know what? We think that this is so obvious, but at the same time, we are actually copy that pattern over and over again. So how about we stop for a moment, and I talk about we because I'm thinking about myself as well here, to stop for a moment and try a different approach, even if it's a simple, but as long as it's different, and see if that works. If not, let's try another different approach and another different approach and another different approach, something that will finally help us to achieve the goal. Tip number 4. Okay, I think I like all those tips, like a lot. Because tip number 4 is keep it simple. And you know what? Again, whoa, Claudia, come on, it's obvious. Yeah, it is obvious. Keep it simple. It seems like we are complicated everything to the point that it's like, it's just too much. And then it's so easy to, well, not succeed and stop trying to achieve the goal. So keep it as simple as possible. Tip number 5 is start slowly. At the beginning, the New Year's resolution, the new thing at the beginning of the year, look at the gym. Everybody is there. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. You know what? Scratch that. I'm going to the gym 7 times a week, twice a day. That's right. But then, towards the end of the month, towards the end of January, look how many people are still at the gym. Probably not many of those who said, I will go to the gym 7 times a week. If you start so aggressively, maybe for some people that works very well. But for many people, when you start so aggressively, you will burn out so quickly that you won't have any energy left to pursue your goal. So start slowly and then just add more and more and more and see about the results. Tip number 6 is changes are coming, and sometimes even though you planned everything, you get those priorities in check. You start slowly, you are keeping it simple, everything seems to be in order, and then suddenly, bam, changes are coming. Some people react to changes so smooth, so well, they are just like, yeah, change is happening in my life, something unexpected, and I know how to embrace that, I know how to deal with it. But some of us, and I am there as well, I'm scared of changes, so I like to be as much prepared to changes as possible. It's not always possible, so how about, again, try to take it easy. Try to think, what can you do and how can you react to that change so you are not going to destroy your goal or the process to achieve your goal. Tip number 7. It's all about small steps. If you think about achieving the huge goal, that might be a little bit overwhelming at the beginning because you are at the first step of the whole long process, and at the end is that huge goal that you would like to achieve. The problem is that if you look at the huge goal, you might feel overwhelmed. It's so far ahead, it's not gonna happen. It's way much easier to think about doing something small towards achieving that big goal. Tip number 8 that I didn't add there, so it's a bonus tip, guys. Try maybe find support system. If you are more like introvert, I'm scared of people, so I don't want to ask for help, but you know what? Maybe sometimes it's better to ask, to do something with others. That support system might help. Or if it's not, then you will readjust, you will try something different. But just try. Let's try together and see what happens. Those are 7 steps. Prioritize, keep it simple. Small steps, and maybe try to avoid things that will take you away from achieving the goal. And you know what? I'm listening to those tips and I'm thinking they are great. But at the same time, I'm scared because I achieved some goals, then I lost them. Like with the weight loss and gain, it's hard. But if we won't try again and again and again, maybe with that different approach from time to time to see if that will help us to move a little bit closer to achieving the goal, what is the other way? Stay in the same situation that you are? Let's try and see what happens. So how about together, you and I, we try those 7 tips and see if they help. Let's try for the first month and see if that helps. And if not, let's try to adjust. And I will try to keep actually a journal on my progress and see if that helps. At the end of this video, the question would be, do you have your New Year's resolutions, or you keep trying to work on the goals that you established earlier and you are not paying attention? Oh, this is the beginning of the new year, so I will set up new goals. How does it work in your case? I wish you all the best. As always, stay safe, stay groovy. That's all for today. See you in the next video. And I will, right now, as always, try what other YouTubers are doing, with you are like, just, like covering and then you're in a new place. I will do it next time.